So after the F1 world took a minute to digest Oscar Piastri causing more chaos than a Mercedes pit stop on a wet Hockenheim track, we got the news that all but confirmed what many people, myself included, had theorised. And this was that Piastri would be ditching Alpine, who spent 4 years worth of time, money and resources supporting him, with the young talent in fact going for a spot at McLaren currently occupied by Daniel Ricciardo, meaning that the experienced Australian would be lacking a seat for 2023 and Drive to Survive would be facing their worst nightmare of having no more Ricciardo to follow around. But the news was courtesy of Autosport, with McLaren officially telling Daniel that they intended to replace him for 2023 with Oscar Piastri. So what now? Well, first things first, Ricciardo still has a contract with McLaren for 2023, so how can he be dropped, I hear you ask? Simply put, money. You see, despite being as rare as a good race strategy from Ferrari, these kind of situations do show their faces once in a while, with recent examples such as Kimi Raikkonen being forced out of Ferrari to give hopes of a championship in red to Fernando Alonso. I'd say hopes, as we all know how that panned out. But even more recently was Sergio Perez being bought out from Racing Point, now Aston Martin, to give Vettel a drive, though I think it's pretty safe to say that Checo got the bigger part of the bargain in that one. So these things can happen and do happen, but where can Ricciardo go from here? Well, to me at least, there are a couple of options. Option number one is to try and stay in Formula 1, say with Alpine, where he actually did pretty well when they were Renault. However, he did also walk out the door at the first opportunity, so who knows if they'll take him back. Other teams are a possibility, but realistically the only team I could see him moving to is Williams, but not gonna lie, that's a bigger downgrade than Frozen to Frozen 2. Second option is to stay with McLaren, but maybe not in Formula 1. After all, the team is on a quest for world motorsport domination and have potential seats elsewhere, such as maybe a drive in IndyCar or even Formula E, the soon-to-be home of Imperial Star Destroyers on wheels. And finally, option number 3, he could just quit McLaren or F1 entirely. This could be pulling a Seb Vettel and straight up retiring, or maybe going and enjoying some different motorsports I haven't already mentioned. But wherever he ends up next year, one thing is looking more and more certain, and that is that the Australian's future isn't with McLaren in Formula 1.